Pittsburgh is the poetry capital of the United States. This claim was made by a teacher visiting from DC 50 years ago, and if you know nothing about Pittsburgh except its steel history, this might sound outrageous. But the sentiment about Pittsburgh's poetry culture has been echoed by everyone from James Earl Jones, who said, "I was never so impressed by anything in my life," to U.S. Poet Laureate Mark Strand, who said Pittsburgh is the most exciting place to give a poetry reading in the country. My name is Jake Greffenstedt. I run a 60-year-old nonprofit organization called the International Poetry Forum. We've been incredibly lucky to host in our reading series and educational programs legends like Seamus Heaney, Mary Oliver, Chinua Achebe, Jorge Luis Borges, Fred Rogers, Myron Cope, Anthony Hopkins, the Queen of Jordan, Princess Grace of Monaco, Kurt Vonnegut, Tennessee Williams, Lucille Clifton, Joyce Carol Oates, and hundreds more. And the crazy thing is we're one of over 24 poetry reading series in Pittsburgh, and that's not counting poetry reading groups at local libraries, which are incredible, community groups, and MFA programs. When our founder created the International Poetry Forum in 1966, his vision was to reestablish the poetry reading as a social experience in the way that we now see going to the movies or going to a concert. And the crazy thing is that it's worked. There are tons of small readings in town. There are also tons of big ones that draw in hundreds or even over 1,000 people to hear a poet read. Our most recent event was the world premiere of the new Gilgamesh translation. The current UK Poet Laureate visited Pittsburgh to read it, and it was incredible. I love living in Pittsburgh, and I know people who moved here just because of the poetry culture. The three biggest literary publishers in town, Pitt, CMU, and Autumn House, all specialize in poetry. Pittsburgh was the first city to create a Poetry on the Buses program. And I spent a ton of time hanging up posters for our events around town and speaking with students in local schools, and it feels like almost every single person I talk to is a poet. It's just unpretentiously part of the culture here. Even Lynn Swann, the great Steelers Super Bowl MVP, was a massive poetry fan, and he read some E.E. Cummings in our series. Let us know your favorite thing about Pittsburgh's literary history, and definitely check out a reading next time you're passing through town. Take a look at the International Poetry Forum's website to learn more about our history.